Game of the week, number 15, Missouri. Eli Drinkowitz, is he going to be the head coach at Missouri? Traveling to Nashville, Vegas, baby. Tennessee to face off against the number 10 Vanderbilt Commodores. First time, and how long have they been a top 10 team? Maybe since World War II. We have a 2:30 Central kickoff. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. Of course I do. I have a lot of thoughts on many games, but this is a battle between Ahmad Hardy and Diego Pavia. Ahmad Hardy is the heart and soul of that Missouri team in terms of their offensive side of their production. And he's had a couple down games. What was his line? 84.5. This was a guy that for first 4 or 5 weeks surpassed 100 yards every single time. And it's kind of stalled out. Now you're facing against a top 15 defense against Vanderbilt. But if that's the headline, you would think, well, how else is Missouri going to put up points if they're going to run into this great rushing defense? Well, to be honest, statistically, if you were to go look at that in a vacuum of the top 15 rushing defense, then you go look at the schedule and you say, well, where's the good rushing team? Are they not good running the football because they're running into Vanderbilt, or are they just not facing teams that run the ball? Alabama is not a good rushing threat right now. Just outright, they're not. So you can't really take that as a litmus test to the Vanderbilt rushing defense. LSU cannot run the ball. That is not a true test. A true test is Bo Perbula and Ahmad Hardy and this physical offensive line that Missouri has. I said it on TikTok. I was like, this offensive line and defensive line combo on both sides of the ball, the Vanderbilt defensive line versus the Mizzou offensive line, and vice versa, Vanderbilt's offensive line versus Mizzou's defensive line, is fascinating. It's going to be cinema. If you are a true film guy or you're interested in that area, it is going to be a war. These are two very talented fronts going head to head. It's obviously going to dictate this game. The question that I have that is going to drive my prediction is, how efficient can Missouri be with their offense? Because you're going to go and face a Vanderbilt team that their identity, the way they want to dictate the football game, isn't about their physicality, isn't about Diego Pavia's heroics. It is squeezing the game. They want to squeeze the game down and limit the amount of possessions and look you dead in the eye and say, can you be more efficient than us? Vanderbilt's not going to get on third down. They're not going to have a ton of possessions, but they're going to be efficient when they do get the football. They're not going to turn the ball over, and they're going to wear on you. And you're going to be on that football field for a long time because they can live with 3-4 yards every single time. Because if they do that 3 times in a row, that is a first down, and they get to do it again and again and again. So my question is when Missouri gets that football, do I believe if that becomes the game, can they win that style? Because LSU couldn't do it. LSU doesn't have a consistent enough offense to do it. Alabama has a consistent enough offense to do it. Does Missouri with Bo Perbula have that? Now, we could talk about a world where Missouri kind of breaks that trend. Maybe a turnover on Pavia. Maybe they break the game open. They get a couple extra possessions so that their inefficient offense does work in their favor a little bit more. Where maybe even though they have more of an inefficient offense, they get a couple more breaks, they get a couple more possessions, and Missouri can find a way to win on the road. And that can happen. I don't deny that can happen, but at the end of the day, I'm picking Vanderbilt to win this game. I think it's far more likely that Vandy is going to be tested with their offensive line, but I'm done picking against this team. I'm done picking against Vanderbilt. Kind of like Josh Pate with Michigan. He can't seem to get on the right side of the coin with this team. I cannot get on the right side with Vanderbilt. I'm done picking against them. I'm trusting, I think Clark Lee's the better coach between him and Eli. I think I get the better quarterback in Pavia. And I think I get the more consistent offense, the more physical offensive line, and I get them at home. And Missouri's coming off of their second leg of a road trip. I like my odds. I genuinely like my odds a lot. And so I'm going to pick Vanderbilt to win.